A very good morning and welcome to this morning edition of Yes 101's Visual Radio. Bringing you the news, I'm Hashini Pathirana. Let's start off with a look at your headlines.
News First headline.
U.S. Treasury's Deputy Assistant Secretary to visit Sri Lanka next week. 15-hour water cut for several parts of Colombo. Gram Niladhari officers' strike continues. In your international headlines, French Prime Minister in final appeal to stop far-right victory. And in your sports, it's cricket, Sri Lanka secure the spoils in opening under-19 ODI at Chelmsford. And now your news in detail. Taking a look at your top story this morning, Deputy Assistant Secretary of the U.S. Treasury, Robert Kaproth, is scheduled to arrive in Sri Lanka next week. Now, posting on X, U.S. Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Julie Chung, announced his arrival next week, where he will be meeting with government officials, think tanks and financial sector leaders. She further highlighted that Deputy Assistant Secretary Kaproth's visit underscores U.S. commitment to supporting Sri Lanka during this crucial period where Sri Lanka works to build its economic recovery and resilience. Deepening reforms that encourage transparency, accountability and sustainability in government, economic and financial sectors is vital. On his last visit to Sri Lanka in October 2022, Deputy Assistant Secretary Robert Kaproth met with President Ranil Wickremesinghe. In more local news, the Gram Niladhari officers will continue the Work to Rule campaign today following an unproductive meeting with the representatives of the Prime Minister yesterday. That trade union action is based on several issues concerning the constitution of Gram Niladhari services and not increasing their allowances. A discussion between the Gram Niladhari officers engaged in trade union actions and senior advisor to the President and President's Chief of Staff Sagla Ratnayaka is scheduled for the 4th of July. Chairman of the Sri Lanka Government Officers Trade Union Association, Sumit Kodikara, said that the strike will continue if demands aren't met following the discussion. Meanwhile, trade union action by university non-academic staff continues for the 59th day today. Co-chairperson of the University Trade Unions Federation, Dhammik S. Priyantha, said that the strike, which began in protest against a 15% salary cut and the refusal to increase the monthly allowances, has yet to elicit any response from the government. As a result, non-academic staff at universities have stated satyagraha campaigns and protests opposite several universities. In more local news, the National Water Supply and Drainage Board says a 15-hour water cut will be effective in several parts of Colombo from 9 a.m. today. Accordingly, the water cut will be effective for 15 hours from 9 a.m. to 12 midnight in Colombo, Dehiwala, Mount Lavinia, Kotte, Kadwala Municipal Council, Maharagama, Borlasgamuwa, Kolonava Urban Council, Kotikavatta and Mulleriava Municipal Council. The National Water Supply and Drainage Board says a low supply of water will be supplied to the Moratuwa Municipal Council as well. The water cut is imposed due to maintenance work carried out by the Ceylon Electricity Board, which requires the power supply to be disconnected to the Ambatale water treatment plant and other maintenance work by the Water Board.
International news.
Now taking a look at your news from overseas, France's lightning quick election campaign is over, and despite last-ditch appeals not to back the far right, voters appear ready to hand the National Rally Party a historic win in parliamentary elections. Now, Prime Minister Gabriel Attal warned it would unleash impulses of hate and aggression. But the party of Marine Le Pen and 28-year-old Jordan Bardella, who could be the next Prime Minister, has, if anything, cemented its lead in the opinion polls. National Rally has fended off a series of accusations of racism involving party members as much as supporters. However, the big question is whether it can win an absolute majority in 2 rounds over the next 2 Sundays.
Sports news.
And finally, taking a look at your news from the sports arena, the Sri Lanka under-19 cricket team scored 294 runs for the loss of 6 wickets and beat England under-19 team by 65 runs in Chelmsford yesterday. Now, a 4th wicket partnership of 90 between Essex pair Noah Thane and Luke Benkenstein on home turf at Chelmsford could not prevent England under-19 subsiding to a 65-run defeat in the first of 3 one-day internationals against Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka's 294 for 6 was powered by 3 contrasting half-centuries from the middle order, with Dinura Kalupahana smashing his 52 from just 37 balls, while Sharajan Shanmuganathan required 75 balls for his 57 and Mahith Pereira taking 60 balls for his 58. Meanwhile, also the 2024 T20 World Cup final will be held today, in which India will take on South Africa in a battle for T20 glory. The match starts at 8 p.m. local time at Kensington Oval in Bridgetown, Barbados. You can catch all the live action on TV1 and online on www.sirisatv.lk. And with that, we wrap up this morning edition of Yes 101's Visual Radio. I'm Hashini Pathirana. Thank you for watching.